Okay, we've got a few minutes before the meeting starts, but we'll do roll call, get that out of the way. Tom? Mark?
Yes.
Bob?
Here.
Dave?
Here.
Mel?
Here.
Laverne?
Here.
Margaret? Here. And myself, Dale. Nancy's away today, right? Yeah.
That is correct.
Are there any members with a conflict of interest today on any applications? Seeing none.
Right, our first item is not until 1:15.
Okay, it is 1:11, 1:12 right now, so 3 minutes.
All right, we're all set for the first item. We are hearing HMA 2312 for 10 West Park Avenue in Hamilton. We have the agent registered to speak and no interested parties, and we do have the agent wishing to speak first.
Okay, is the agent available?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, city staff.
My name is Mark Denardis. I'm the agent for the registered owner of 10 West Park Avenue. We have an opportunity to review the staff recommendation report and would like to formally request a deferral of the application for 6 months or sooner. This would allow us an opportunity to have some further consultation with city staff. We recognize that they have recommended approval in part, and we would like to have an opportunity to have some discussions about how we can address their concerns. Happy to answer any
Okay.
questions you may have.
Okay, so a motion for table. Mal, seconded by Laverne. All in favor?
Here, here.
Opposed?
Seeing none?
Seeing none. So when you get your information together, then just contact the office and they'll schedule you in.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
I went to see it twice. So I would have to go to the next.
All right, we're all set for the next file. We're hearing HMA 21438 for 34 Crook Street in Hamilton. We have the agent and owner registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
I am, yes.
Did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I did have a chance to review the staff report. We made note of the recommendation to approve our application, but I'd like the opportunity to speak on a few other items if possible.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So you guys might recognize this application from a previous meeting agenda in February 2022. My colleague was representing the application and made the decision at that time to defer our application as we received transportation comments that were not in support of our application. So since then, we've made some adjustments to our application, including providing a road allowance for potential future road widening and amending the parking provided on site to be more functional configuration. With our application now considering the possibility of a future road widening, as indicated to us by transportation staff, we shifted the building back a little bit further to from the front lot line. So this resulted in a slightly smaller rear yard setback, and then a new variance in regards to the interior side yard setback for the garage. Unfortunately, it's an irregularly shaped lot. It's a little undersized for the area, so a lot of this is just recognizing those existing conditions. However, we're still quite confident that all the variances requested before you today are extremely minor in nature and have no impact on the surrounding properties. I'd also like to quickly address the comments on the staff report about the official plan and the West Harbor setting sales secondary area. I would like to note that on our previous application in February, there were no comments from staff in regards to this official plan and the secondary plan area. So as noted by the staff report, this subject property does fall within that secondary plan area, which is developed to encourage conservation of built heritage and historical buildings. I would like to note this building is not designated as historical, although many nearby are. Our application is consistent with many design characteristics of the surrounding neighborhood, including the setback to the front property line, massing, height, and contemporary architectural styles. Compatibility is tough to measure. It's regulated in most official plans, but it's difficult to measure as it's something that's opinion-based and can vary depending on the staff member reviewing. But we strongly feel our design and application are in keeping with the general intent of the official plan, and more specifically, this secondary plan that's applicable. Our design provides a setback that's in line with the remainder of the existing dwellings along Crook Street, which are all very close in proximity to the street. And the street consists of several two-story dwellings, lots of row houses, so they have similar massing and height characteristics. So I would ask that the committee consider this when making their decision in conjunction with the staff recommendation to approve our application, as our requested variances are minor in nature, appropriate and desirable for the use of the land, and are in keeping with the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw. I'd be happy to answer any questions that any committee member has or a member of the public.
Okay, thank you. All the variances are supported by planning. Does committee members have any questions? If not, motion?
Yep.
Margaret?
Motion to move, to approve.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Seconded by Mark, all in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Seeing none, motion carried, application approved.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're all set for the next file. We're hearing HMA 2319 for 163 Jackson Street West in Hamilton. We have the agents registered to speak and no other interested party.
Okay, is the agent available?
Yes, hi everyone.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
Yes, I did.
And do you have any questions?
No, I just wanted to let the committee know that I am here to answer any questions and have a brief presentation if the committee wishes.
Okay, staff supports the variances. Committee have any questions? Laverne?
Unless our committee has some questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, I don't see any questions, so Laverne moved, seconded by Thomas. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application approved.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're all set for the next item. We're hearing HMA 2322 for 58 Balmoral Avenue North in Hamilton. We have the owners registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the owner available?
Yes, good afternoon, I'm here.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I did, yes.
And do you have any questions?
No, it was all clear to me, no questions, but I'm happy to answer any questions that the committee has if there are any.
Okay,
Motion to move it, please.
okay, moved by, seconded. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Seeing none, motion carried, application approved.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're all set for the next item. For the committee, there are two related applications. They aren't on the same property. Did the committee wish to hear them together, or did they wish to hear them separately?
Together?
All right.
Okay.
So we will hear HMB 2304 for 560 Centennial Parkway North in Hamilton, and we will also hear HMB 2303 for 510 Centennial Parkway North in Hamilton. We have the agents registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, for the record, is the agent available?
Can you guys hear me? Good afternoon, committee members and members of the public. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
Yes, I did, and I agree with staff's recommendation.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the committee at this time?
I have no questions for the committee, but I do have a short presentation if there are any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions? Motion? David? All second? Laverne? All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Seeing none. Motion carried. Application approved.
Thank you very much.
right, and we're all set for the next file. So we're hearing HMB 2302 for 219 Eleanor Avenue in Hamilton. We have the agent and owner registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Yes, I am. And the owner is available also.
Okay, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
Yes, sir. And I just have a couple of points of clarification, if you don't mind. Under the comments from zoning, they refer to things like parking and things like this. I don't understand for the lands to be retained. I don't know why that is an issue when we're just severing a vacant lot. Could someone from staff address this, please? Through you, Mr. Chairman?
Okay.
Mr. Chair, there are no zoning staff who are registered to speak.
Okay, so we can't answer that question for you.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I just don't want to agree to something which may cause an issue with the owner, like they refer to the existing parking spaces, that they're not labeled or they're not the correct size, but it's an existing driveway, and I just a little concerned with the owner. But if there's no one there from zoning, I could address that with staff at a later date. And just one question I have for the secretary, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I understand one of the recommendations, and it's standard in this situation, that the owner enter a consent agreement. Now, with obtaining a consultant, their workload and time frame, and getting a consent agreement in place with staff, it takes a long time. And at what stage will this consent agreement satisfy the condition of approval of the severance?
So this is a condition that is requested by development approvals, and the condition must be cleared to their satisfaction prior to a certificate being issued. All conditions must be cleared within 2 years of the date of the giving of notice.
Okay, so this severance, we have 2 years to satisfy these conditions with this severance then?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I have no further questions. If Mr. Butera, the owner, has any questions, I can ask him now if he has any.
Okay. Committee have any questions?
No questions.
Mel?
Move it.
Moved by Mel, seconded by Thomas. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application approved.
Thank you very much.
Did you guys send out notice for 225 East 24th Street? Because it's not tabled, the guy's here.
That's the one that John Sterling never got back to us.
Right, so I told Liam he needed to give a notice to go out. If he not given notice.
I didn't have anything to do with this.
Well, also that's why it's posted on the website. The hearing date, the time.
So we didn't do this.
Is East 24th tabled? We don't have any comments, right? Okay.
All right, for the committee members, there was an item that was scheduled for 1:50, but the application was tabled due to staff's recommendation. I believe the agent is here, but nothing was circulated for this file.
Sir, are you here for East 24th Street?
Yes.
Okay, so it has been tabled previously before today. So there's no hearing for that application today.
Why not? I have a problem because I got a letter from the Committee of Adjustment saying I don't need a variance. But after the zoning change, because the province changed the zoning, came into law late last year. And then at that point, they said, John, you don't need to go for the variance. So I didn't. It was tabled anyway. So I made the changes to the drawing. I told them I didn't have to go for the variance because the law changed and the zoning changed. And they sent me back this saying I had to go for a variance. So I was in legal limbo. One department in the city saying I had to go for a variance and the other said I didn't. So since it was tabled, I decided, well, if I go for the variance, I'll get it anyway, because it's legal now to do this. Put a second door in the front of the house. But until they hear from you, the building department's not going to do anything.
Well, I think as a committee and the members that are here, we have no comments from planning on this application.
Yeah, I realize that.
So we
because I
can't-
looked for them yesterday and I couldn't believe it. Oh, sorry.
So a letter was provided from the zoning examiner who reviewed it, and it stated that no variances were required, and you were instructed that you could take that letter to building.
Yes.
So you don't need a minor variance.
Well, I didn't up until 2 weeks ago when the person doing my review in the building department said they changed something in their end and that I didn't need a variance. But I didn't believe them because they've been lying to me all along. I've been doing this for 9 months, just 9 months, just on this one file. And I'm not getting anywhere.
Okay,
I emailed somebody down there,
All
Chloe.
right, so
or
if this is
something.
an issue with the building permit, you can go and speak to the building staff. They are available on the third floor.
I
and you
did
can
speak
with-
to them.
Okay.
And then I realize this. I just don't want to be in legal limbo anymore. I had a meeting with the said building examiner, and then she got really mad at me and stormed out of the office. It was a face-to-face meeting. And then I had a meeting with her boss saying, well, we don't care what they say upstairs, you need a variance.
Maybe get them to call down here.
The problem is, I'm finding that the sections of the bill, of the whole city hall, no one talks to anybody.
Okay, so these are not issues that the committee is able to deal with, so they're not able to deal with process questions like this. So if
I'm
you,
just curious how this got tabled. Somebody, without him knowing it, I mean, somebody must have.
Well, I think all we can
No
really.
one, I didn't get a letter saying this was tabled.
yes, so you did get an email saying it was tabled.
No, I got an email saying that I didn't need it.
Right.
Well, I got tons of emails. I got 3 or 4 of them here, all in an email chain saying I didn't need it. But it doesn't say that it was tabled. It just doesn't say that.
So the only recommendation that I could make, and I would hope that the committee members agree, is that the best thing to do is get in touch with your counselor and try and get to the bottom of it. Because if you're getting the runaround from staff or whatever, then
I realize this, but it's,
You gotta try it again.
I've already been tabled twice before. Now this is the 3rd time I've been tabled. What if they say I still need it? What do I do then?
Why don't you go down there first? We're not here to debate.
Yeah, but I've been down there. After it was tabled twice, I went down there.
You said 2 weeks ago and it's changed.
No, she called me 2 weeks ago and said that.
That's 2 weeks ago. Why don't you go down there?
Say you just went up here, you went to meet the committee suggested you go down and said you don't need it.
I just don't understand why the committee can't just deal with it.
This indicates that you have an agent. You have an agent?
I am the
He is
agent. I am the agent.
Oh, you are the agent, I'm
Just
sure.
there, I know. Anyways, hanging here is not gonna.
Yeah, I know, but I was hoping if you guys just said yes, then they'd have to believe you down there.
We got no
Officially, yes.
We got nothing. He is an agent.
Yeah.
So the hearing's tabled, and we have another applicant coming in at 1:55, sir. And that is now, so.
I just hope it doesn't get, I hate to keep coming back and bothering people on the 5th floor when I don't need to. Thank you.
All right, so we're all set for the next file. So we're hearing ANA 2313 for 971 Old Mohawk Road in Ancaster. We have the agent registered to speak and no other interested parties. For the agent, if you could just come forward and make sure your microphone is turned on when you're speaking.
Okay, for the record, is the agent available?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jared Marcus from Arcadis IBI Group.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I did, Mr. Chair.
And do you have any questions?
None.
Committee have any questions? Laverne? Moved by Laverne, seconded by Thomas. All in favor? Opposed?
Sorry, was that one opposed? No? Okay, none opposed.
Okay, motion carried, application approved.
All right, thank you for your time.
I'm not excited about this Arcadis thing.
It's just too hard to say.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, and then for the record, our next item is not until 2:15. We currently have a recess scheduled, so we will come back at 2:15 for the next item.
Okay.
Or video game.
The Lions go to
Okay, Mr. Chair, we're all set to come back from recess. Did you want to do roll call again, or did you want to proceed?
No, we're good.
Okay. We do have several related files up next. They aren't all for the same property, though. Did the committee wish to hear all of the files together, or did they wish to hear them separately?
all together.
All together?
Together?
Okay. So we're going to hear HMB 21-126, HMB 21-128, HMB 21-129, and HMB 21-130 for 974 Upper Paradise Road, 980 Upper Paradise Road, and the property known as 0 Wood Valley Court. We have the agents registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Good afternoon, I am.
Yes. Did you have a chance to read the comments posted on all these applications?
I have, and we're in support of staff's recommendation. I just have a couple of requests related to some conditions, if I may. So related to HMB 21-126, condition 6 is asking that any buildings straddling a property line are demolished. I'm requesting that that gets removed as it won't be applicable. Both dwellings on 980 and 974 Upper Paradise will remain, and they're both well over 20 meters away from the proposed new rear property line. And then, if I may, on HMB 21-128, condition 6 is related that the owner shall comply to Ontario Building Code requirements regarding spatial separation. Again, the retained dwellings are over 20 meters from the proposed rear property boundary, and the new dwellings fronting onto Wood Valley will be subject to building permit. And that's everything. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Committee, any questions? Motion? Turn your mic on. Sorry.
Striking number 6 in both those applications, conditions.
Moved by David, seconded by Laverne.
And there's a condition in there. Do we have to apply the condition to?
Sorry, can you turn on your microphone?
Laverne, your mic.
Sorry, what was your question?
My question is, there is a condition on here.
There's a number of conditions.
That's right. Do we have to apply the conditions with the motion?
Yeah, so David's motion was for all conditions except for condition 6 on HMB 21-126 and condition 6 on HMB 21-128.
Correct.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Never mind.
Margaret, you have a question?
Yes, I believe that there is.
Turn your mic on, please.
Oh, sorry. That there's also a redundant condition on 21-129, which it doesn't have frontage on Upper Paradise, and it's got a condition requiring a widening on Upper Paradise.
Was that 4? No, right away widening?
Yeah, on.
See, there's a condition here.
Condition on application 21-130.
Yes, so I believe the transportation planning condition, is that the one you're referring to, for a road winding off of Upper Paradise was applied to HMB 21-126, 128, 129, and 130.
Yes, but I think that there's the 130 does not have frontage on Upper Paradise, so it's not applicable to 130.
That's correct, and HMB 129 does not have frontage on Upper Paradise as well.
So I don't know whether you want to remove those conditions.
So if there's no
as well.
frontage, you could strike number 4 on those 29 and 30 then.
Okay, so David, you're amending your motion
Yeah.
to be,
Yeah, strike
okay,
4
so,
on 29 and 32, okay?
okay, all right, so,
129,
And
4
130.
is municipal, that's trees.
okay,
Isn't
I'll clarify here. Okay, so the motion is HMB 21-126, motion to approve with all conditions except for condition 6. HMB 21-128, motion to approve with all conditions except condition 6. HMB 21-129, all conditions, motion to approve it with all conditions except for condition 8. And HMB 21-130, all condition, or motion to approve with all conditions except for condition 7. Is that correct?
Condition
Yes.
If
7.
I may, through the chair, related to, and thank you for catching those redundant. I had two, I was just gonna go through the paperwork, but happy to have them removed. I believe it was also brought up that conditions 4 on both HM 129 and 130 are also redundant. It's related to street trees with frontage on Upper Paradise.
That's
Okay.
why I actually thought it was the 4 when I read it.
David, are you further
Oh, I see.
amending your motion for
Yes.
condition
Yes.
4 to be
Yeah.
removed from
Yeah.
HMB 129 and condition 4 to be removed
Yeah.
from, okay, from 120, or 21-130, all right. Okay,
Okay,
so is everybody clear on what the motions are on the table? So they were motioned and seconded by Laverne. You're still good with your seconding? Yes, okay, thank you.
okay.
And then Mr.
All in
Chair,
favor?
call a vote. Thank you.
Opposed?
Seeing none.
Motion carried, application approved.
Thank you very much, committee.
All right, and we are all set for the next file. So we're hearing HMA 2323 for 205 Sanatorium Road. We have the applicant and owner registered to speak and no other interested parties. If the applicant and owner could please come forward, or whoever is going to be speaking for the application. And then just make sure that your microphone is turned on when you're speaking.
Okay, can you state your names for the record?
Oh, your microphone's turned on, Mr. Chair.
Can you state your name
Hello?
for the record, please?
Greg Vautour.
I'm Lee Paul, I'm the applicant. You're not on, no red light.
Just press this one there.
This, yeah.
Okay, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
So they were posted on the committee's webpage. They were also sent in with a link in an email that was sent out yesterday.
Okay.
So the recommendations from planning, they recommend approval of the one minor variance.
Yes.
Okay, so David?
Yeah. I make a motion for approval.
Okay, motion made by David, seconded by Thomas. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application approved.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
right, and we're all set for the next file. So we're hearing HMB 2153, HMB 2154, and HNA 21230 for 1304 Scenic Drive in Ancaster. We have the owner registered to speak and one interested party.
Okay, is the owner available?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to review my application.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I did indeed. I had a nice discussion with Aman yesterday and then confirmed that the HCA did receive the environmental assessment, and they do need a lot of time to review it, obviously, because it's an 88-page document. So I have no issue with tabling the my application until everyone has the appropriate time to review it.
Okay. So do we need to hear from the interested party, or?
No, if we're not going to hear the item today, then we can.
Motion to table?
Motion for tabling?
Mark, seconded by Thomas. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried. Application tabled.
Right, and for the interest of the interested parties, so the application was not heard today. If you have provided your contact information, you will be notified when a new hearing date is scheduled, and it will be heard at that time.
Thank you very much. Where do you find these documents?
Thank you so
So
much.
they're posted on the committee's webpage.
They're on the webpage, but I get a copy, and I was going to offer them to you anyway, so you don't have to look them up.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. That's all the comments, and the city suggested it be tabled to review this.
The timeframe for the next hearing date would be based off of when the applicant requests the new hearing date after they've received
several
word
months.
that the review has been done.
Thank you very much.
Used to do that all the time.
All right, and we're all set for the next file. We're hearing ANB 22-136 for 198 Lovers Lane in Ancaster. We have the agent registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, committee. James Thomas of AJ Clark and Associates.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
Yes, we have.
And do you have any questions?
There was nothing that seemed too out of place. there is the condition, of course, with building the consent agreement package to make sure that we have everything planned out. There is comment that we're going to be building a sidewalk extension along this side, and our client is going to be required to pay for their portion of that. Our only question is, I guess we'll be working with correspondence with Public Works to find out when they're constructing that, so that we're not building a driveway entrance for both of these units and then having to have those reconstructed once again. So hopefully we'll be able to facilitate that, and that condition won't hold us back.
Okay. Committee have any questions? Motion? Moved by Laverne, seconded by Mel. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application approved.
Great, thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
It's going too fast today.
Oh, now you've done. Now you've done.
For 4 minutes.
All right, we're all set for the next file. We're hearing SCA 2318 for 967 Arvin Avenue in Stony Creek. We have the agent registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Good afternoon, members of the committee. Matt Johnson with Urban Solutions.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I have. I've got a brief presentation. I'm not sure if I need it. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any. If I need to go into detail, I could pull up a few slides, but otherwise, look look forward
Okay,
to.
we'll see if the committee has any questions, and
I'd
Laverne?
save the presentations for the upcoming ones, and I make a motion for approval.
Second. Okay, moved by Mark, seconded by David. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application approved.
Thank you.
Is that just like a picture of Bob? I haven't heard Bob's voice. Does he just put a picture on his desk there? Oh, he's laughing, so it's okay.
That's a good plan.
I know. Let's get a picture and sit there.
All right, we're all set for the next files. We're hearing ANB 2306 and ANA 2321 for 112 Academy Street in Ancaster. We have the agent registered to speak and 2 interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Yes, good afternoon, members of the committee. Matt Johnston, Urban Solutions, here on behalf of Mantia Arbor Limited. If it's okay with you, I wouldn't mind jumping into a brief presentation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I just was going to ask first if you wanted to table this, but if you want it to be heard, then it's all yours.
Thank you. Okay, I believe everyone should be able to see that okay?
Yes, go ahead.
So again, the subject lands are here on 112 Academy Street in Ancaster. We've got an aerial of the property here. And again, what we're proposing to do is demolish the existing dwelling and replace it with 2 single detached lots. The lands are designated designated neighborhoods in the Urban Hamilton Official Plan. Also designated neighborhoods on the Land Use Schedule E1 of the official plan. And what we see here is that they're located in what's known as a deferred development zone in the very old Ancaster zoning bylaw, where the existing dwellings are really the permitted use. We've got an image of the existing dwelling. Again, 2 15-meter lots. Those are 50 footers, 28 meters and 29 meters in depth. An illustration of the severance is here, and 4 variances to facilitate the applications. Now, the first variance 2 and 4 are really in relation to the front yard setback. We're proposing 6 meters to the garage and 4.5 to the principal dwelling, and 1.25 meter side yards instead of the required 1.5, where we still accommodate the 3 meters between dwellings for the required swale. I've got a lot comparison sketch illustrating what's in the surrounding neighborhood. Those blue dots represent lots in the immediate area that have equal or less frontage. And I wanted to really highlight this comment here from the staff report. While staff state that the proposed severance does not conform to the zoning bylaw, however, the proposed new lots do reflect the general scale and character of the established development pattern. So what we really have here is an issue about process as opposed to compatibility. So there's really no issues with the variances that we're requesting. It's more about the process. And this is a conversation we've had before. So what I'm asking today is that condition number 11 of the staff recommendation be waived. And I've got 3 examples where we've went down this road, where we have agricultural zones or deferred development zones that received negative staff reports. In this case, at 520 and 522 Jerseyville Road West in Ancaster, we had a negative staff report, yet we received a positive decision from the committee. A little bit later, we received a similar application just down the street. Negative staff report approved by the committee, appealed by a third party. And what's important here is that it was appealed to the LPAT. And the very question about the appropriateness of varying these zones to accommodate the use were tested at LPAT despite the negative staff report and approved. And my third example, again in a deferred development zone, this time out in Stony Creek, out on 50 Road, we had a negative staff report. We had an approval by committee. We had a third-party appellant. And again, the question of use was tested for the appropriateness to deal with it through the minor variance process, and it was supported by the local planning appeal tribunal. So what I'd like to say here is that we're delivering an application that's compatible. Staff agree with us there, one that complies with the official plan. But we've got a 1987 zoning bylaw. We've got a housing crisis. We've got an appropriate mechanism tested by the LPAT to bring this through a minor variance. And that's why I'm asking that condition 11 be waived. My second request is that there's a road widening request for give or take a meter. This one, we've got the subject lands noted here and a really consistent right-of-way width One where the value of gaining a meter for this short distance of frontage over the grand scheme of things isn't really going to accomplish a whole lot. I'd appreciate if there was an appetite to consider waiving that condition. And then I just want to close out quickly with the support that we received from the Ancaster Village Heritage Community. Appreciate their letter of support. And they had 3 requests, and we're not too far apart. We have one request that we maintain a 7.5 meter setback, and I apologize that these dimensions are a little bit small, but sorry, I tried to zoom in. The existing setbacks of the dwellings are to our immediate north is a 4.2 meter setback. The corner property has a 4.98 meter setback. The dwelling across the street has a 3.49 meter setback. So our notion of 6 meters to a garage and 4.5 to the principal dwelling is really in keeping with the area. They ask us if we could commit to a 9.5 meter building height. We can agree with that. And they ask us to apply the balcony requirements in the existing zone from section 10.32 of the zoning bylaw. We're happy to abide by that requirement for no second story balconies as per 10.32 of the existing residential zone that exists in the Ancaster bylaw. So with that, again, I think we've got something that's very compatible. It's not a question about appropriateness of these lots. There is a question about process. Again, I have tested examples of these applications going to the tribunal where this very question is thoroughly discussed, and the tribunal has granted those in each and every case. So with that, I'd ask that condition 10 and condition 11 both be waived. And again, happy to abide by these notes on the page here with regards to the letter from the Ancaster Village community. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, we have a couple of interested parties, but just one question for you, Matt, was the examples that you showed other than Academy, were they in a D zone or were they in a different zone?
We had the deferred development zone in the Stony Creek bylaw on 50 Road in Ancaster, and we had the agricultural zone applicable in the 2 scenarios on Jerseyville Road.
Okay, so the other
similar in the sense that
weren't in a D zone
process. The preferred process was a zoning amendment to rectify those differences, and the tribunal tested it through the minor variance process and was satisfied that that was an appropriate process.
If I may, what's the second deferred? There was paragraph 11, condition 11, and which one?
10.
Condition 10 and 11.
Sorry, thank you.
We have 2 interested parties. Do we hear from them now?
So if you're both wishing to speak, please come forward to the microphones, and then I'll call just one. Okay. So then just make sure that when you're speaking, your microphone is turned on. There's a button just on the stand there.
All right.
The arrow.
Good.
Okay, good. Well, I'm not much of a public speaker, so I'll try to keep this brief. Our letter was fairly lengthy, and some of it did address the comments that were made by the Ancaster Village Heritage Community, so there's no point in rehashing all of that. You've all seen the comments. I'm just here so you can see there are real people that are affected by this kind of development. I appreciate that people can buy property and that they have the right to develop it, and I'm not opposed to the idea that there's going to be development. I know that there will be. I know that anybody would have bought that property and probably torn this house down and built something else there. What I am opposed to, though, is that I recognize there's a pattern of, we have bylaws, we have them for a reason, but there's a pattern of variances being made all over the place, and quite significant variances, particularly in our neighborhood, in the name of development. And it's not, again, I'm not opposed to development, but it's not the kind of development that's leading to affordable housing or solving our housing crisis. It's the kind of development that's putting money in people's pockets. That's fine. I'm not anti-capitalism either. But I bought a home I'm a taxpayer in the community. I bought a home because I loved the home and I wanted to live in it. I didn't buy the home to sort of turn it over or make a profit or anything like that. I just want to live there and be happy. And as it stands, there is a home directly behind us that you probably were able to see on the images that were provided that is a very large and imposing structure. And it is the result of multiple variances that were granted that allowed that home to be built where it is and as it is. And it is a situation that we look out of our backyard and we see a house. We don't see any sky. It substantially blocks daylight to our property. It doesn't mean we get zero at the moment, because at the moment we still get some when the sun comes up over that house. But when they build these two houses that are going to take up almost all of that lot space next door to us, then we will be blocked on that side of the house, which is really the only view that we have left, because on the other side of our house is our driveway where our cars are parked. So if they build these two houses here right up to essentially the property line, we're going to look out this side and have no sunlight and see walls, and our garden's going to be shadowed. The back, the garden's already shadowed and we have no sunlight, and we're just going to be essentially blocked in. I appreciate that the province has, it has a mandate to encourage gentle intensification, and that development is going to continue to happen. But I don't think that the idea was simply for the profit of developers. I think that the idea was to create more affordable housing, and this is not, these variances aren't going to create more affordable housing in the way that that was intended. They're going to make people rich. And it's going to, and it isn't just our house, it's happening all over our community. And it's fundamentally changing the character of our town and our neighborhoods. And we had very little voice to begin with, and now we have even less, because we understand that once these approvals are made, we have no opportunity to, or we have very limited opportunity to appeal, because the right to appeal has been removed now. And so I'm asking you, without rehashing this 3-page letter that you've already read, to consider that and to see that there are real people behind these decisions who are affected, who did not buy this property to turn over. We joined a community to be part of that community. We're contributing to the community as people who work and pay taxes in the community, and we want to continue to enjoy living in our home and enjoy our garden and not end up paying a lot of money because we have drainage issues or we have no sunlight, and so now we have rot or mold or things developing on our property because we're boxed in. I have no problem, I happen to know who is doing the development. I don't have a personal problem with that person, but I'm just asking you to consider doing this in a way that is more compatible with the neighborhood, more compatible with the zoning of the neighborhood, and these really aren't minor variances. They're very significant variances. And I know the road ahead of me is going to be hard because I know more are going to come. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Oh, and also the trees. We already have damage to the trees because of the other structure, and this development that's proposed will also cause further harm to the root structures of those mature trees that we have on our property. All right. And no sun for my garden. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee have questions?
Yeah, I got one question here. I'm looking at the lot coverage, 44%, when the requirement is 35% of the lot coverage. I don't think anybody's got any problem against the severance of the lots. It's the size of the building they're putting on the lots. And I think that's over coverage when you got 44% instead of 35 required.
Margaret?
Yes. I know that we've heard about some comparable applications in the past, but I just want to bring everybody's notice to the application that we just approved 2 applications ago on Lovers Lane, which is a very similar application, and they required a rezoning application approval, and they did it, and it came forward today to be approved with the new zoning. And I think that that is more appropriate to look at that application compared to this one. So I wouldn't be in favor of removing a requirement for a rezoning. I would be okay with approving the severance with that condition, but not approving the variances.
Okay, anyone else? Thomas?
First, I would say to the lady, she's a better public speaker than she thinks she is. She's basically said it all. I agree with what she says. To some extent, to give this without a rezoning is buying a pig in a poke, because I have no idea if it rezoned, what the requirements would be and how far off the specs what is being asked for is. This doing end runs around bylaws is something that bothers me, and I'll continue to say that. It is what it is, and you got to play by the rules.
Okay, anyone else? Bob, we haven't heard from you. What do you think? Do you have any comments?
I don't really. I'm more interested in what other people think. I'm kind of caught in between on this one.
Okay.
Well, the one more comment I have, this thing about building affordable housing. I mean, that just doesn't apply here. We're building something that most people can't afford if the severance happens and the variances are granted and this thing goes ahead. So that's a non-starter.
Okay. Any other comments? The zoning seems to be the issue that some members. David?
Or make a comment. Does the applicant want to rebuttal off of this? I'd like to hear more from the applicant before I make a comment.
Sure. Matt, did you want to?
Thank you for the opportunity to respond. I do think that I hate to hear the word, an end around the zoning, circumventing process. This is a process that the committee has supported in the past. Members, and I mean this committee, that in your own term, that you've voted for approval, and then that decision was tested by the Ontario Land Tribunal or the LPAT, where they questioned the appropriateness of dealing with this type of use through a variance, and they agreed on 2 occasions that the minor variance represents the appropriate process. So to put somebody through the more onerous zoning bylaw amendment process isn't necessary in the tribunal's eyes, and I hope it isn't necessary here today. Like I said, it's been tested through and through. The Ontario Land Tribunal believes that it's appropriate to consider modifying the zoning to accommodate a dwelling in a deferred development zone. There's case law. So that case law means something. And I think that we can comfortably lean on it. With regards to the comments that were made by the speaker, I do sympathize with the change. I comment that the new build could have the same impact on the property, whether or not you're complying with the zoning bylaw or not. So whether or not we do a severance, a new dwelling in this location, whether it's 2 or 1, could have a similar impact. But I think I'll just leave it there. I think this is all comfortably a compatible application. I don't think that that's really a question. I think it's really about process and do we need to put somebody through a more onerous process when the tribunal says no?
Okay, thanks, Matt. Mark?
Okay, so I kind of understand, and through my experience, the zoning process, which is obviously required in some cases, I find are more appropriate when you have larger projects, larger things you're asking for, more units, high rises, changes. And I've noticed over the years it's sort of bleeding towards just an individual trying to sever a lot, and they have to do a whole zoning process, which causes a lot of time and money, and they ultimately get it, but they get it with the black eye of having stalled for a year and a half and, you know, 6-digit money. So in this particular instance, despite the rulings on other applications, the fact that it's a severance from one owner on one lot to two that in most respects meets what's required, I'm prepared to bring a motion to approve with conditions 10 and 11 removed.
Okay.
And just to clarify, that motion was for both the consent and the minor variance?
Correct,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Okay, seconder? David? All in favor of that motion?
All right.
Opposed?
1, 2, 3, 4 opposed.
Okay,
So
motion
there's 4 in favor and 4 opposed,
Okay,
Mr. Chair,
motion
sorry.
defeated,
Or wait, no, there's 3, yes,
3 and 4.
sorry, there's a committee member missing. So yes, sorry, there was 4 opposed, 3 in favor.
Okay.
Motion defeated.
David?
How about if I make a motion that we approve the variances, but not, that he has to go for a rezoning application so we can deal with those variances? That he has to go for a rezoning application?
Okay, so your motion is to approve the consent with condition 11 and deny the minor variance application?
No, to approve the minor variance application. Okay, just let me read it again. Hold on.
Same as mine, except you're leaving 11
Well,
in.
Yeah, same as it, but I'm leaving 11 in.
Okay, you're taking 10 out?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your motion? Okay,
if I may, the difficulty with that is if it gets rezoned, as I said earlier, we're not in the position to say what we're varying from. I don't know what the requirements of the new zoning bylaw would be. And so it's a minor variance, but a variance for what?
well, I'm guessing that if they require additional minor variances, then they would
Well, I
have,
thought we were approving, the motion was to approve the variances.
Well, it is to approve it, but leaving condition 11 in, not like, the condition 11 says needs approval from the, for zoning bylaw amendment application.
Well, actually, 11 says that they apply for receive final approval.
yeah.
Right.
Could we maybe hear these
yeah, okay,
separately?
yeah.
Okay, Margaret?
Can we have motions on these separately, like one for each application?
Okay, you want to do them separately?
And if I could, for members of the committee, this is quite similar to a scenario over on Southcote where a minor variance was not approved, but the severance was subject to the zoning bylaw amendment condition. That might, you may recall that from a couple short months ago in late 2022.
I think that would fly.
Okay,
So it was
so
the consent was approved with a condition for an official plan and a zoning amendment in that scenario.
okay, so the committee are asking to hear the application separately, to make motions separately. So, David, did you want to amend your motion, or do you still want to make your?
Okay, so, Margaret?
To approve the severance application subject to a rezoning application, so keeping the condition in for the rezoning application.
And removing condition 10 or keeping condition 10?
I'm okay either way.
I would prefer to remove it.
Remove 10, keep 11.
Okay, so the motion currently on the floor is for A and B 2306, motion to approve with conditions 1 through 9 and conditions 10 and 11 removed.
No, 11 in.
11 in, okay, sorry, I apologize. So that was ANB 2306, motion to approve with all conditions except condition 10. Okay, and that is a motion by Margaret.
Okay, seconded by David.
Seconded, yep.
All in favor of that motion? Opposed?
I have 2 committee members who have not voted. You're in favor? Okay, and Thomas, have you voted?
I'm just trying to sort out what's going on here.
Okay.
So that's
in, that's out.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I'm in.
You're in favor? Okay, then I have none opposed, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Motion carried, application approved on that one.
Thank you.
All right, and now we can have a motion for ANA 2321, the minor variance application.
Margaret?
Motion to deny the minor variance.
Okay. Seconded by Mal. All in favor of that motion?
Okay.
Mel?
I'm in favor.
In favor, okay. And opposed?
I have 1, 2. Sorry, Bob, did you vote? You're in favor of this motion? No? Yes? Okay. Sorry, you have to turn on your microphone. I can't.
I am voting for allowing the variances, and I'm not sure what the motion is now, whether it's
Okay,
for
so
or against.
The motion is to deny the variances, so you're opposed to this motion.
Right.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chair, so we have 3 opposed.
Okay, 3 opposed and 4 in favor. So the motion's carried, application is denied.
Denied.
Thank you.
So the Academy Suite is all
Do you
done.
understand what's happened? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're clear. The severance is approved and the variances are not.
It has.
Yes.
That's great, because we weren't opposed to the severance, we're just opposed to
Anything outside the bylaw.
what they are proposing.
It's going to be, it has to be rezoned.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, thank you, so we can take
All right.
ourselves off now?
Yes.
Okay,
So we're all set for the next file. We're hearing ANA 2324 for 424 Highway 52 South in Ancaster. We have the agent registered to speak and no other interested parties.
okay, is the agent available?
I am, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I have, and I'd like to ask for this file to be tabled so I can further speak to my clients to see if we can modify it to make it more favorable, and there's a chance that he's also to discuss it with staff if I could.
Okay, motion to table. Mark, seconded by Mel, all in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application tabled.
Thank you.
All right, we're all set for the next file. We're hearing GLA 2316 for 3033 Binbrook Road. We have the agent registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Good afternoon, members of committee.
Okay, Matt, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I have, and I would appreciate being able to walk the members through this. There's a question about some new variances that I want to touch on as well and just kind of get them in front of you. So if you don't mind, I could roll through this rather quickly.
Okay, but are your wishes to table it, or do you want to have it heard? Because they're recommending denial on the one variance and tabling 2 and 3.
Okay, you know, I've refined the wording for 2 and 3, so I think that we can get that in order through a tabling. So with that said, I think I'll save everybody's time in my presentation for the next go round.
Okay, so you're okay to table this?
That's right. And would it be, Jamila, if you could just clarify how we get the next circulation going and back on a specific agenda?
Are
We
you
need to
going to be
table it
making,
indefinitely.
are you going to be making changes that you need to review with staff, or you just want to have some more time to speak with staff?
It's really the wording associated with the additional 2 variances that that zoning staff identified through the review of the application. Earlier today, I sent an email to clarify that wording.
Yes? Okay, so, but you don't need to speak to planning staff about their recommendations?
Well, as you noted, it would allow them to review that particular variance. They comment that they haven't had a chance to evaluate that component. So the tabling would facilitate that aspect of it, and I'm happy to allow the time to do that.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out, do you just want it to be tabled to the next hearing date, or are you wanting it to be tabled until you let us know that you want to
The
come
next
back?
hearing date would be great.
The next hearing date? Okay, the next hearing date is March 30th. So if the committee so chooses, they could table it until 1:10 on March 30th.
I shall move to table.
Okay, motion tabled by Mal, seconded by Thomas. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application tabled.
All right, so the application is tabled until March 30th at 1:10 PM. No further circulation will be provided.
Thank you, and sorry I didn't mean to talk without my camera on. I just realized that. But thank you, members of the committee.
All right. Great, and we are all set for the next file. So we are hearing GLA 2315 for 1739 Nebo Road in Glanbrook. We have the agent registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
I am, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I have, and I'm satisfied with the staff's recommendation for approval. I have no issue with it.
Okay, committee have any questions?
Move it.
Moved by Bob, seconded by Laverne. All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none?
Motion carried, application approved.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we are all set for the next files. We are hearing DNB 2305 and DNA 2317 for 116 Victoria Street in Dundas. We have the agents registered to speak and no other interested parties.
Okay, is the agent available?
Yes, I am, thank you.
Did you have a chance to read the comments that were posted?
I did. I have a few questions, though.
Okay, go
I may
ahead.
ask. Thank you.
I know there was a bit of clarification later on in the documents of the frontages or whatever.
Yes, so on that note, I did notice a correction was necessary for the lot frontages, for both the lands to be retained and those to be severed. The questions I have concerning the conditions include the archaeological assessment. These lands only meet 2 of the 10 criteria that would identify the cultural heritage significance. So I'm asking if it's the will of the committee that they change it to, instead of an assessment, an acknowledgement, a note.
We've done that numerous times in the past.
Okay, great. And then another question I have is about reference in condition 4 of the consent. The second part of that phrase is that some inference that there's a road widening required, but I don't believe I saw any comments from development engineering to that effect. So I saw that consent agreement was a requirement.
Which condition was that?
It's
Sorry.
number 4. It's the introduction to the need for a tree protection plan or a tree management plan by forestry. I think it is correct that there are some street tree or two, perhaps, that are within the right-of-way and may be impacted by the development. So my client is happy to prepare it or have a tree management plan prepared and submitted. But I just wanted to know if we could make a strike through reference to a road widening, because I don't believe it was necessary.
Okay, so you're just requesting that condition 4 be amended to read an assessment of the information provided shows that there are potential conflicts with existing public trees or trees.
Correct.
And the remainder of that sentence be struck out.
Yes, please. The final question I have is concerning the landscape plan. There is one mature tree in the center of the lands to be severed that will be impacted by the proposed development. So the question is, the comment is, our client is willing to prepare a landscape plan to fulfill this condition, but I'm not sure how it's going to be implemented, because there isn't a site plan control applying to these lands, and the future owner of these lands to be severed, because they are intended to be transferred to a new owner, they will want to have their own landscaping on their properties. So I was interested in knowing if that condition or that reference to a landscape plan could be removed. And those were all my comments or questions, please.
Can that be removed or not?
That would be at the will of the committee,
Okay.
what their motion is.
Okay, committee, questions?
Motion?
Everybody's busy reading.
I propose to make a motion for approval with the archaeological assessment as a note and just clarification of not requiring a road widening. I don't see it here, so that's why I'm a little hesitant as how to articulate it, but
Okay, so your motion is for condition 4 to be amended to remove the reference to a road widening, condition 5 to be changed to the normal archaeological note, and condition 6 to remain, or condition 6 to be removed. That's the landscape plan condition.
I'm good with it.
I
think he wants to probably remove.
well, you're doing a landscape plan, are you not?
Through the chair to the member, our plan is to do a tree protection plan to ensure that trees that are to remain on the property aren't impacted by the proposed development of a single detached dwelling. It's the landscape plan showing where exactly the replacement tree is going to be located.
Okay, so,
So you should have a tree
okay,
management.
so condition 4 to be removed, or to be amended to remove the reference to the right-of-way widening, condition 5 to be changed to a note, and condition 6 to be amended to remove the reference to the landscape plan. Is that your motion, Mark?
Sure.
Or, yeah,
As long as there's a tree management plan.
the tree protection plan? Okay, so the tree protection plan to remain and the landscape plan to be removed.
Seconder? Laverne? All in favor? Opposed?
Seeing none.
Motion carried, application approved.
Have we dealt with the change in the frontage figures? We've imposed, it seems to me, just what's in here.
Sorry, you don't have your microphone turned on.
Sorry?
You don't
your
have your
mic
microphone on.
All right. It seems to me what we've approved is what the numbers are in here, and as I understand it, some of the frontage numbers have changed. We haven't seemed to have dealt with that.
That was a clerical error, and she was just bringing it up to your attention. We have it noted that it was correctly circulated on the plans or the drawings and on the minor variance, and it was just incorrect in the
correct
one
numbers in
section.
here?
Yeah, so we have it noted to correct
Thank you.
that as well.
Okay.
All right. So that was,
Yeah, motion carried, application approved.
okay.
And that's it. Motion, she can go? We're all done?
So you approved the variance as well?
Yes.
Motion for adjournment. Mel?
All right. Thank you, everybody.